The unbelievable. Sports' greatest comebacks. We talk in sports, folks, and let me tell you, nothing, and I mean nothing, gets the heart pumping like a comeback. That moment when all hope seems lost, your team is down, the clock is ticking, and bam, they dig deep, defy the odds, and snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. It's more than just a game, folks. It's emotional. You're invested. You're on the edge of your seat, sweating it out with every play. And when they pull it off, euphoria, pure and simple. And that's what we're celebrating today. The grit, the determination, the sheer will to win against all odds. 2004 ALCS, Red Sox versus Yankees. You want to talk about comebacks? Look no further than the 2004 ALCS. The Red Sox, down 0-3 to the Yankees. The curse of the Bambino hanging over their heads. Game 4, 9th inning, down by a run, Rivera on the mound. But then, Dave Roberts steals a base, Bill Mueller drives him in, and the impossible happens. Red Sox win in extra innings, swept the Yankees in 4 straight. They completed the greatest comeback in baseball history. 2016 NBA Finals, Cavaliers versus Warriors. Let's talk about a comeback for the ages. The 2016 NBA Finals. LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers, down 3-1 to the Golden State Warriors. The Warriors, led by Steph Curry, were a juggernaut. But LeBron had other plans. He put the team on his back and willed them back from the brink. And who could forget Kyrie Irving's clutch three-pointer in Game 7? The Cavs became the first team in NBA Finals history to overcome a 3-1 deficit. They brought a championship to Cleveland, a city starved for a winner. The Comeback Kid, 2017 Super Bowl, Patriots versus Falcons. Now, let's talk about a comeback so improbable, so unbelievable, that it left even the most jaded sports fans speechless. Super Bowl LI, the New England Patriots versus the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons, they were up 28-3 in the third quarter. Matt Ryan, he was carving up the Patriots defense. Julio Jones, he was making impossible catches look routine. And then, the unthinkable happened. Tom Brady, the GOAT, he woke up. He led the Patriots on a scoring drive, then another and another. The Falcons, they couldn't buy a stop. The Patriots tied the game late in the fourth quarter, sending it to overtime, the first Super Bowl to ever go to overtime. And in overtime, well, we all know what happened. James White, touchdown. Patriots win, the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history. Now, let's jet across the pond to the world of football, or as some call it, soccer. The 2005 Champions League Final, Liverpool versus AC Milan. AC Milan, they were the kings of Europe, led by the legendary Paolo Maldini, and they were up 3-0 at halftime. Liverpool, they looked finished. But then, a miracle happened. Steven Gerrard, the heart and soul of Liverpool, he scored a goal early in the second half. And then, just like that, the floodgates opened. Liverpool, they scored 3 goals in 6 minutes. They tied the game at 3-3. The impossible had happened. The game went to penalties, and Liverpool, they held their nerve. They won the Champions League in one of the most dramatic finals of all time. Now, let's rewind the clock to 1993, the AFC wildcard game. The Buffalo Bills, they were down 35-3 to the Houston Oilers. 35-3. It was over. The Oilers, they were already celebrating on the sidelines. But then, something clicked for the Bills. Frank Reich, their backup quarterback, he started slinging the ball all over the field. Andre Reed, Thurman Thomas, they were making plays. The Bills, they scored 28 points in the third quarter alone. They tied the game in the fourth quarter. And then, in overtime, Steve Christie, he kicked the game-winning field goal. The Bills, they completed the greatest comeback in NFL history. A comeback so improbable, so unbelievable, that it's still talked about to this day. Now, let's head back to the diamond to the 2011 World Series. The St. Louis Cardinals, they were down to their last strike, twice, in Game 6 against the Texas Rangers. The Rangers, they were 1 strike away from winning their first ever World Series. But then, David Freese, he hit a game-tying triple off Neftali Feliz. The Cardinals, they went on to win Game 6 in extra innings, and then, in Game 7, they did it again. They came back from a 2-run deficit to win the World Series. The Cardinals, they were a team of destiny that year. They never gave up, and they were rewarded with a championship. Chapter 7. Aguero! Now, let's head back to the Premier League, where they know a thing or two about dramatic finishes. The 2012 Premier League season, Manchester City, they needed to win their final game against QPR to secure their first league title in 44 years. But with minutes to go, they were losing 2-1. Their city rivals, Manchester United, they had already finished their game and were about to celebrate a championship. And then, in the 92nd minute, Edin Dzeko scored for City. Tie game. But it wasn't enough. They needed another goal. And then, in the 94th minute, Sergio Aguero, he received a pass from Mario Balotelli, turned, and fired a shot into the back of the net. Goal! Manchester City had won the Premier League in the most dramatic fashion imaginable. Now, let's go back in time to 1980, to the Winter Olympics in Lake Placid, New York. The United States, a team of amateur college players, were facing off against the mighty Soviet Union, the undisputed kings of hockey. The Soviets, they were a machine. They had won the gold medal in the previous 4 Winter Olympics. They were expected to crush the young American team, and for much of the game, it looked like they would. The Soviets, they took a 3-2 lead into the 3rd period. But then, something amazing happened. The Americans, they tied the game with 10 minutes to go. And then, with less than a minute to play, Mike Eruzione, he scored the game-winning goal. The United States had defeated the Soviet Union in one of the greatest upsets in sports history. It was a victory that transcended sports. It was a victory for the ages. Now, let's fast forward to 2019, to the Masters tournament at Augusta National. Tiger Woods, once the most dominant golfer on the planet, had been through a lot. Injuries, scandals, he had it all. Many people thought he was finished. But Tiger, he never gave up on himself. He worked his way back from multiple back surgeries. He never stopped believing. And then, at the 2019 Masters, he showed the world that he was back. Tiger, he played flawlessly all week. He went into the final round with a 2-shot lead. And on Sunday, he held off a late charge from Brooks Koepka and Dustin Johnson to win his 5th Masters title. It was one of the greatest comebacks in golf history. It was a comeback for the ages. Now, let's finish our list back on the European stage at the 1999 Champions League final. Manchester United, they were facing Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich, they had taken the lead early in the game, and for most of the match, it looked like they would hold on to win. But then, in the dying minutes of the game, Manchester United, they scored 2 goals in stoppage time. First, Teddy Sheringham, he scored in the 91st minute to tie the game. And then, 2 minutes later, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he scored the game-winning goal. Manchester United, they had won the Champions League in the most dramatic fashion imaginable. It was a comeback for the ages. It was a victory that cemented Manchester United's status as one of the greatest clubs in the world. What makes comebacks so special? Is it the thrill of the unexpected? Is it the belief that anything is possible? Or is it the sheer joy of witnessing greatness under pressure? Whatever it is, one thing is for sure. Comebacks are what make sports so compelling. They remind us that no matter how dire the situation may seem, there's always hope. They inspire us to never give up, to always believe in ourselves, and to always strive for greatness. So, what are your favorite sports comebacks? Let us know in the comments below.